We all know the dream, the discipline, stacking comes to fruition. You can finally check out of the daily grind. Screw you, boss. I'm out of here. Retire forever. Spend your time doing exactly what you want to do when you want to do it on your own terms. But that doesn't happen overnight, does it? So let's, in this video, try to take a bit of a reasonable time span, a reasonable approach to try to set a deadline of the end of this decade and find out exactly how much Bitcoin you're going to need to be able to retire by 2030. And you might be surprised at the numbers. It's a lot of Bitcoin, but it's also not that much Bitcoin. And it's perhaps closer than you imagine. At least that's according to one very interesting model that claims to be able to put a number on really just how much Bitcoin you're going to need to be able to retire. Depending, of course, on various personal factors, obviously how much you spend, how old you're, all this kind of stuff. But here's the kicker. It turns out you might be able to retire off of just 4.4 Bitcoin or even less. But before we break down that math, a quick shout out to today's sponsor. Guys, if you're looking for a secure, a fast, a professional level cryptocurrency exchange, you can join over 140 million users across 90 different countries on Crypto.com Exchange, the most licensed crypto platform in the world. Whether you're into spot trading, using advanced bots like the DCA bot or the grid bot, or connecting through powerful APIs, this platform delivers. Plus, if you are a high volume trader, guess what? Their VIP program will give you some serious fee advantages. So if you are ready to level up your game, start trading all the big coins with deep liquidity, hit the link down below, get signed up to Crypto.com. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. 4.4 BTC. Let's break this down. Here are the caveats. But, well, actually first, hearing that you're probably gonna ask, well, how is it possible to actually retire off a stack currently valued around $400,000? Doesn't sound like enough money to last a lifetime, does it? So this requires a bit of bullish propaganda. Here's how it works. First, the model is the work of a Bitcoin researcher going under the name Sminston. And it's got plenty of traction on X because, well, it looks plausible. It's the kind of bullish propaganda that we love, isn't it? Now, Sminston has created a way of predicting Bitcoin's future price increases called the decay channel model, which basically shows that volatility will decrease over time, diminishing returns theory, right? While the lower price support level continues to curve upwards. So the peaks become a bit more mild and the bottom continues to grind up. Bitcoin just keeps putting in higher lows, essentially. So we have an idea of how Bitcoin's price will increase over time. By the way, Sminston is using the most conservative projection here, the 5th quintile. But of course, the retirement model then needs to factor in increases to the cost of living, inflation, all that crap. So it assumes an annual inflation of 7% based on historical expansion. Also, it's based around the idea that you're gonna live to 100. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, baby. Which, by the way, right now, Brian Johnson notwithstanding, shout out Brian, is a way above the average lifespan. You're probably not going to live to 100. Well, maybe new tech will help you live to 100, but currently the average lifespan is not 100 in any country. So this also means that the model is conservative and likely will overshoot requirements. Basically then, you can take your current age, your annual financial requirements, $50,000, $100,000, whatever you think you're gonna need, and the year that you want to ride off into the sunset. And the amount of Bitcoin that you're going to require is shown right there. Here's an example. Let's say that you're 35 and you want to retire in 2030. You're tired of all the bullshit. You don't want to have a job, man. You just want to retire, sail off in the sunset, sail around the Caribbean with your beautiful wife and your kids. Screw all this bullshit, man. You're out. And guess what? You think, if I can have $100,000 a year income, I'm going to be good. Well, that means you're going to need 4.41 BTC in your wallet right now, okay? Or let's say that you're happy with just 50K a year. You're just going to semi-retire. You don't want to keep working at that job, but you do want to keep doing something. You like keeping your hands busy. Maybe you'll start that bar you've always wanted to start, or that cafe you always wanted to start, or that bike repair business you always wanted to start. You'll make enough money doing that, but this will take the edge off so you don't have to worry. You're good with kicking back till 2035 in this situation. Well, in that case, keeping the age at 35, you're then looking at just a requirement of 1.2 BTC. Remember how I've been saying literally for years, you got to get that 1 BTC, man. That is your golden ticket. Literal proof right here in this model. That means that you can be planning early retirement based on assets with a value here in May 2025. My guess is, well, since I wrote the script, it's gone up a bit. Maybe it's $120,000 now. Anyway, just to be clear about this, the model isn't based on the possibility of borrowing against your BTC, using leverage, or employing any kinds of DeFi tricks or tools or bullshit like that. This is a pure Bitcoin play, purely based on a spend down model, meaning you simply annually cash out what you need to cover your expenses. Pretty crazy numbers when you think about it. Years will go by and that 4.4, that 1 Bitcoin, or whatever your number happens to be, Bitcoin just keeps grinding up, nations keep buying all that kind of stuff, and you just keep selling a little bit, living your life. Beautiful. Love to see it. Now that's actually another massive positive when you think about it. Not only are the projections themselves relatively conservative, but the strategy, simply stack Bitcoin and hold, and then sell as required later on after you've held for an adequate amount of time. Again, a very conservative, simple investing strategy here as well. It's really about as simple and relatively risk-free as you can get in crypto. All the rest of the bullshit's just complicating things. So if BTC does develop farther as collateral, then you can leverage it for income without even selling it. Then you've actually really got some real potential here for even better returns. Take a low interest cash loan versus that Bitcoin, do something else with it. But maybe you just want to keep it simple. You don't need to do all that fancy shit. You're just gonna sell a little bit of Bitcoin every year until you fall dead at 100. Could it all be too good to be true? Well, maybe it should be. But then this is Bitcoin. Just have a little look here at what it already did. Okay, we tend to forget. We get so focused on recency bias that we forget about it, okay? From 0 to $2 trillion in 16 years, market cap that is, and at how many long-term tailwinds it has in its favor right now. Think about it. Country adoption, corporate adoption, just everything going on. It's absolutely bonkers. That said, though, nothing is guaranteed. Models are not always accurate, and this guy's model may end up proving, with hindsight in 20 or 30 years, to be complete bullshit. Okay, inflation can't be known for sure. The world's a highly turbulent, uncertain place. Bitcoin in 20 or 30 years may not be as important as we hope it's going to be. We're in a rapidly changing period of history, and although this is probably all good for Bitcoin, you never know. Past price action, of course, does not guarantee future price action, and models like his channel decay model can always be broken. Bitcoin goes to 0 and your retirement's screwed. Well, your retirement's probably screwed anyway. At least took a chance on trying to make something for yourself with Bitcoin. There's also another question here. Why isn't everyone rushing out to buy Bitcoin to retire? Well, I know what most people's retirement plans are. You're going to be a greeter at Walmart and they'll find you dead in the parking lot with a anyway, long story. Anyway, there are plenty of people out there who are interested in early retirement and have enough savings to be able to go out and use our first example and buy 4.4 BTC. So in that case, why aren't those people just buying the Bitcoin right now? Well, the answer is kind of relatively straightforward. One reason is that too many investors are still relying for some unbelievable reason on financial advisors. Hey, I go talk to my financial advisor about Bitcoin, man. Don't buy it, buy bonds instead. Yeah, good luck retiring on fucking bonds. Financial advisors basically are being told don't talk about Bitcoin, even now, even still, even with BlackRock out here doing it. At this stage in the game is crazy. They're super phobic still to Bitcoin, really anything crypto related. Yeah, I go, okay, meme coins, bullshit, but not Bitcoin, man, not Bitcoin. But it's all changing. That's why even around the $100,000 mark, you're not late to BTC if it's viewed on a long time scale. This is something emphasized, of course, by Michael Saylor recently when he posted that Bitcoin will be at $1 million before your financial advisor tells you to buy it. Oh, that's fine now. Buy Bitcoin now at $1 million. Hey, financial advisor, why didn't you tell me to buy it at $10,000? It wasn't safe back then. It was untested. You know that's how it's going to be. Then, of course, there's information asymmetry. For sure, Bitcoin is a mainstream asset now. There's ETFs. BlackRock's out here shilling it. Everyone's heard of it. But despite all of that, not everyone is in it, amazingly. People, of course, not deep into the blockchain minutia every day, and they're not addicts like you and I are. Most people, even if they're kind of interested in Bitcoin, They're sure as heck not looking at like the decaying channel model and how I can retire off 4.4 Bitcoin, and just not on their radar. They think it's kind of cool. Maybe I should have some exposure to it. So there's still an imbalance in the ways people look at and think about Bitcoin, despite predictions that institutions may be set to move in a major way and the prices are going to absolutely moon. People are going to wait till it's $1 million to buy it. But therein lies your opportunity. There's the numbers for you. If you believe in this model, then all you need to do is get 4.4 BTC and plan on retiring. And related to that, too, don't forget that if you're heavily into crypto, you probably see things like meme coins, leveraged DeFi protocols, all that kind of stuff is risky. Well, Bitcoin is the safest bet. But for a lot of traditional investors out there, believe it or not, they don't even know about all the rest of this crap that you think is so important and risky and whatever. They look at Bitcoin, that's the only name they know really from crypto. Maybe they've heard Solana or Ethereum before. About Bitcoins, that's the thing. That's the household name. That's super risky. I should just buy bonds and gold at new all-time highs. Again, there's a big imbalance in both perspective and in information. Ultimately, if you're thinking about early retirement, then like legitimately, the oldest of Bitcoin axioms may ring true. Stay humble, stack sats. And it could be more valuable now than ever. Thanks for watching.